welcome to the first annual Orange Coast College Film Review. I'm Janine Keel-Gallup, and I'll be your host for this program. In the next hour, you'll be seeing 5 wonderfully creative short films, written, produced, directed, and entirely financed by Orange Coast College film and video students. These films represent a wide range of filmmaking styles, from a 1940s period piece and a suspense thriller, to a fantasy comedy and an animated cartoon. Filmmaking is much the same for students as it is in full-length features. From pre-production to the finished product, it takes many hours of hard work and the cooperation of numerous people to complete the production. A little later in our program, we'll find out just what it takes to produce a student film from 2 of our student filmmakers, Jeff Amont and Craig Foltz. We'll also be talking with Brian Lewis, who is the director of the Orange Coast College Film and Video Department. Now we're going to take a look at our first student film, entitled Ransom. Ransom has the look and feel of a 1940s gangster film. It was filmed in black and white for effect, and its quick cuts and dramatic angles helped to build the story's tension. Cynthia Marshall was the writer, editor, and co-producer of this film. She also happens to star in the film. So let's take a look at Cynthia in her first film, Ransom.
Can't you take these off? They're hurting my wrists.
No. What's the matter? He's hurting? It's only been 8 or 9 hours. You're going to have to stay that way until I say so.
Hey, could we take him off for a minute?
Shut up, Randy.
Okay. But don't do no good to hurt her.
I'm not going to hurt her. So, what's your name, doll?
Tracy.
Tracy. Tracy's too pretty, and I love pretty ladies.
Don't touch me.
I'll do whatever I want to do. You're going to fill out one of these for $20,000 and sign it.
Why should I?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
I don't have that kind of money.
Come on, bitch. You got that kind of money. You live in that fancy house. You drive that fancy red car. You got it. We checked you out. Well, look, I can be real nice. Or I can be real mean if you force me to.
Leave her alone. Let's get the hell out of here.
What? What the hell's the matter with you, huh? Look, relax, little brother. We're going to get the money, okay?
Yeah, but there's no reason to hurt her.
Look, I'm not going to hurt her, okay? See? I'm not going to hurt her. When I'm finished with her, she'll sign, our troubles will be over.
Don't touch me.
You tell me what to do, bitch?
You got it wrong. I'm the guy who tells you. You got that, bitch? Answer me.
Yes, I got it.
Good. And I can do whatever I want, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Good. Now you know I won't hurt you.
Just you and me, right? I'll be real good to you.
Hey, Nick, leave her alone. What? Just make her sign the check.
Yeah, okay. You're right, yeah.
Sign it. Sign it. Give me the check. Wise choice.
Watch her. Watch her.
Hey.
Get back.
Okay.
Randy, let me go, okay?
I can't do that. Give me the cup. Give me the cup. Get over here. Get these things. Oh. Oh.
What the?
Hello, Nick. Glad to see you made it back. Pick him up and sit down. Pick him up and sit down. Put him on. Put him on, hands behind you. It's a little different without a gun in your hand, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. Although I'd like to. I'd like to scare you. I'd like to hurt you like you hurt me. I'd like to kill you. How's that feel, pal?
The film you just saw was photographed in the dramatic film noir style. Our next film, The Unscalloped, uses a completely different filmmaking approach. It's called stop-action animation, and it's been used in such notables as the California Raisin commercials and the popular cult classic, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. With us right now is Jeff Ahmet, the creator and producer of The Unscalloped. Welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Fine.
Can you briefly describe the stop-action animation process for us?
Well, it's a process where nothing you're filming is actually moving. You mentioned the raisin commercial, which everybody's seen. And it's like they take small clay raisin figures and they set them up and they take just 1 or 2 frames of film and then they move them just slightly and take 1 or 2 more frames and move them again. And it's a very slow, tedious process, and what you're actually doing is just shooting a series of static shots. But when you actually project the film, you get a motion in these figures that gives them a life of their own.
Well, why don't we go ahead and look at The Unscalloped, and then we'll come back and talk more with you. And we'll talk about the making of The Unscalloped.
Patio.
quite an imagination. Where did you get the idea and inspiration for the film?
Well, the film began as a class assignment where we were supposed to take a piece of music and then cut out magazine pictures and film them in a sequence that would flow with the music. And I didn't really follow the assignment. I wanted to do a little more. And so I decided instead of animating magazine pictures, I would animate actual objects. And I like the song Private Idaho because I like the subject. It deals with people living in their own private little world and not really existing in reality, whatever that may mean. And
like a lot of us.
Yeah, and the song that referred to that is, you know, being in your own private Idaho. And so we just played off Idaho and Idaho potatoes and put it together with this fantasy existence and came up with this strange world that you just saw.
How long did it take to go through this rather involved process? It looks like it took a lot of time.
Well, it's hard to say exactly how much time was spent filming, but when things go real well, everything's working right, you get about 3 or 4 seconds of film for every hour you put in. And
For every hour?
yeah, it's if everything's going right, you know. So it does take quite a while.
Quite tedious. Is there a lot of editing involved? It looks like there's a lot of various clips.
Actually, there's no editing by the standard sense of what people think, where you go out and shoot a film and then you come back and spend all your time editing in post-production after the film. This, it's all done ahead of time. It's sort of backwards from the standard process, but we start with the music and record it on a special tape that has sprocket holes in it, just like movie film does. Then we can put it on an editing machine with a device for listening to this tape. So we have the music on this tape and we just wind it back and forth so you can find where each beat in the music is, or each word, or each syllable in the words. And you mark that right on the tape, and then you go through and count these up, you know, how many frames to each one. You end up with a list of several thousand items that you then go through and decide what you want to match to the music. And, you know, you have 50 frames maybe for this picture and 10 frames for this picture, and you just plan it out. So when you get to the shooting, it's just straight through, so you don't have the editing afterwards, but you've done a lot of work ahead of time.
Sounds like you have to be somewhat of a mathematician and to do all the addition. I don't know if I could handle that. Did you have a large crew involved with especially moving all the potatoes and doing everything like that?
Actually, the film was just done by myself and my fiancée, Linda Ashley, who I owe a lot to because I sort of volunteered her to help me, and you know, she was really good at supporting me all the way through it. She doesn't volunteer so easily now, though, for doing other things.
I was going to ask you, did this cause any tension with your relationship, with all the tediousness of the filmmaking process?
There was a few times when, like, we were boiling up buckets of potatoes in the middle of the night and mashing them up to do certain things, or we're crawling around at 4 in the morning positioning these potatoes, that things got a little strange, but we came out for the better. So.
One of my favorite scenes in the film was where the gal was looking down at the mashed potato plate, and then miraculously the potatoes reformed into a whole potato. I've got to ask you, how many potatoes did you use?
Quite a few for every scene. We went through 2 or 3 10-pound bags. They get, from all the handling, they tend to get a little soft after a while.
Can you still look at a potato or even eat a potato after all that?
I don't have anything against them. So.
No? I know with all of the stop-action process, is there ever a time that you were sure that you should have maybe not picked the potatoes as such to bring them to life?
It's hard to say. I guess they're as easy to animate as anything, so it's just a matter of we thought it would provide an interesting film.
I know the music Private Idaho was by the B-52s. Are you a big fan of the B-52s?
Yeah, I am.
You like them? Well, I know for myself, working with that many potatoes, I don't know if I could be around them after a bit. Are there any other specific anecdotes of interest that we might be interested in?
Well, something for the filmmaking students out there, they might appreciate. We at one point had gone through and shot that mashed potato face singing to the lyrics, and that took a lot of planning to get that exactly right and a lot of hours to get that down. And then on the first showing, we had the film fall off the projector and tore right through that scene.
Oh.
So we have to go back and do that one shot over.
After all that work?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But it's all part of the process. Gives you good experience.
Well, I know next time I eat a baked potato, I'm going to be thinking of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
Stay with us, and we'll be right back with more student films after this message.
The White House, just as in businesses and organizations across our country, graduates of America's community colleges can be found. There are more than 1,300 community colleges across America making an enormous contribution to American higher education. In fact, nearly half of all undergraduates are enrolled in these institutions. As our economy evolves and grows in the years ahead, the community colleges will continue to play a vital role. Of course, the key word when discussing these colleges is community. They are truly part of their communities, offering accessible and affordable education to almost everyone. They increase the opportunity and economic mobility of our people, each and every one who takes advantage of what is available. And after all, isn't that what America is all about?